Hello and welcome to the TalentHut TESOL Academy, where teaching minds meet great ideas. I'm your host, Nova Kat, and today I'm thrilled to introduce Dina Hendawy, a senior trainer, a curriculum designer, and passionate educator whose work has inspired all teachers across the MENA region. Hello, Dina. How are you?
Hello, Nov. All good, alhamdulillah. What about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, first of all, I want to start at the
Mm.
beginning of your career. So, as we all know, behind every strong educator, there is a journey filled with struggles, surprises, and also, of course, moments of joy. So, let's say if your journey was a movie, what genre will it be? Like adventure, drama, or even comedy, and why?
Oh, that's a nice question. I would say adventure and comedy. Well, adventure because I always had these moments of ups and downs, moments I knew where I was going, and other moments I felt extremely overwhelmed. I had a lot of experiences with different places, roles. So that would be the adventure part. And the comedy part, because nothing is good without a little bit of unexpected moments, sense of humor, your students, your teachers. So I would say it's a good combination between adventure and comedy.
Nice. I totally agree with that. So, in this case, can you share a funny or unexpected classroom moment that would still make you laugh years later?
Yes, actually, when I say a funny situation, this always rings a bell to me. Well, I was drilling, it was a pronunciation stage. I was drilling a word. I can clearly remember a very passionate student who just was repeating and drilling with a very clear, confident, loud voice, but unfortunately incorrectly. But he was so confident, but we all started to laugh because whenever I was repeating the word, he kept repeating it incorrectly, but so passionately. I couldn't even dare to correct him, but it was very, very funny. I
Yeah,
still remember this till today.
I'm sure it was. Okay, so yeah, we all did
Yeah, he
this
was so
when we first
confident.
started. By the way, it's not just you, so it's true. Okay, so it's really nice also that you have mentioned challenges that you have faced as your beginning. So, as a young teacher, how did these challenges help you identify your identity today?
Well, I would say that when I started to teach, I was just going like with the flow. I didn't know really where I'm going. I started as if I know I can teach few things, so let's give it a shot. Why not? And suddenly I felt extremely overwhelmed, like the responsibilities were over the place. And I felt like, no, I don't think I can do this. However, when I just overcome this or I overcame this, I felt like, no, actually, that was just a challenge. And this is why I always say it's not something impossible to do. It was just a challenge. And it reshaped my identity today. It actually taught me to set boundaries, like for
Mm.
people asking me to do things are not really in my scope. Also to delegate because sometimes we feel like, ah, no, I can do everything. I'll do everything. And that it's not actually true. You need to delegate, set boundaries. And this is how actually it played a crucial role to reshape my identity as a leader today and also as a teacher trainer.
Yes.
I also pass this to my teachers. I always say that you don't have to do everything on your own. You can ask for help, you can delegate tasks, set boundaries. If you can't do this, just say.
Yes.
So, yes, I think that was something that pushed me to move forward.
It is true. Teamwork is very important. Yeah, we should always encourage others on that. I totally
Yes,
agree.
and your success is their success.
True. One success together. Very
Yes.
nice.
Mm.
Okay, so of course, after you have mentioned all of these challenges that helped you shape your identity today. So that leads me perfectly to Delta, one of the toughest professional journeys ever, I think. So, did you have a
Okay.
moment where you thought like, why am I doing this to myself? So I
Just a moment.
push you through it.
I would say moments, not just a moment. I had a lot of moments saying, I can't do this, not just questioning myself. I was that sure that this is not my place. But I wouldn't say it's the toughest stage. And I'm telling you this because we have this misconception of the delta. It's just a stage that needs a lot of research and reading, and it needs you to be ready. That's it. If you're not ready for it, then don't go for it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Needs a lot of
Sometimes I
commitment.
felt it's a lot of commitments, I'm not gonna lie, especially the preparation stage. Okay. Because if we're talking about module 1, okay, we're talking about a lot of reading, and I mean a lot of reading, and a lot of research, a lot of concepts, new concept to you. So you always need to keep yourself up to date, reading here and there. And it's all about grasping the information because Delta is more of a new level of something that you already knew. So it's not brand new things, not all the time. However, sometimes it's just another level of something that you already know.
True.
So yes, I had a lot of moments saying, no, I can't do this. This is not my thing. And then I overcame that.
Right. Yes, it is true. And what do you think about the preparation courses? So, do you think Delta is something that can be manageable for a teacher to prepare himself or herself, or it's essential for them to be a part of these courses?
I would say depend on your background. We're not the same. So let's say I have a strong background outside the known certificates as the TEFL, CELTA, TESOL. I read a lot, I heard a lot of theories, and I know a lot of practical things. So I can go on my own and try to study everything. However, you'll always be missing something. And this is just my opinion, because the educators and tutors, they have a bit of a background of what's happening in the kitchen. Okay. So they give you the better perspective. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it alone. Actually, I knew people did it alone and now they're doing great. So I would say that joining a preparation course, it's like creating a plan for yourself. So know where you're going, what can you study, what do you actually need? Because there are a lot of extra things that you don't really need.
Good.
Okay.
So your
So
advice
yes,
is
I
to
would
create
say
a plan previously.
yes, indeed. A
Good.
great plan. You're following a certain plan with certain study sessions, certain input sessions, you practice on the test itself. So I would say this is a good plan for, let's say, beginners. I would say beginner teachers or even experienced ones. Like I was an experienced teacher and I really needed that preparation course. It felt overwhelming to do it on my own.
Good.
And if
Helped you
you,
organize your
yeah,
ideas and your plans and so on. Great.
indeed, very much.
Great. Yes. Good. So yes, teachers, please prepare a plan. So
Yes,
how did
indeed.
Delta influence not just your teaching, of course, we're talking, but also your confidence, Dina, and your long-term career dreams?
Well, I would say before the Delta, I just felt like maybe I can train teacher out of my experience. Maybe I can plan a lesson. It was always maybe because you didn't get the chance to see the bigger picture, right? So the delta just connected the theory with the practical there's approach. So it feels more of now I know I can teach and know I can train teacher because it's all about teaching in the very first place. You teach teachers, basically. So now I know I can train teachers, I can design curricula, and it feels now, it gave me a lot of confidence because you're not only now following a framework or an approach, now you know why this approach is addressed to this kind of people. Okay. Let's say you had in mind and you knew, like for sure, that you need to use this framework, but now you know why and how the stages are connected and why they are connected and relying on each other. So it definitely affected the way I plan, the way I reflect, the way I give and take feedback. So, yes, it's very crucial.
Right. Yes. Yes, that's true. A huge step regarding professional development. Great.
Mm.
So in this case, when you mentor teachers, Dina, so how do you encourage them to let go of fear and start taking risks? Okay. Or maybe change their lecture mode.
Oh, the lecture mode. That's a vital point because I actually saw a lot of teacher doing this, like this is the normal thing. And they kind of show a resistance to, how do I say that? To learn new things. Like the lecture mode is their default.
Yeah.
So how would you fix that? Actually, I learned with them. I learned how to cope with their resistance, and I always advise that you give guided tasks. Always. I always say that your students need to be on their toes. You don't have to spoon feed them. Give them a task. So instead of going there, write down the structure of a sentence. Just give them the task to recognize and identify the language patterns. It gives them the sense of achievement. And as we all say, easy come, easy go. So it's not easy for them. They actually exert some effort to solve this task.
Mm.
So it
Because they're
aids the
used to the
retention. So
habits.
whenever they try to, yes, indeed, whenever they try to remember the information, they will retain it better because they actually did something there. So I always say, let your students fill in the gaps. And I don't mean like the actual activity, I mean like the session itself. It should always be missing something and they are trying to fill it in.
True.
So, yes, that's definitely my advice to just get out of the lecture mode.
Yes, we learned from our mistakes. So we should keep on trying the whole time, we can say.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
It's never too late. I always say it's never too late.
True.
It's always, it will always be a chance to try something new. Go ahead. You need to diversify your background, your approaches, your methodologies approaching students. So, yes, it's never too late.
Yes. True. It's never too late to learn new techniques and start using them. Okay. So of course, this is
Indeed.
for you, the students, more than the teacher, to keep them motivated and engaged
Yes,
the whole time. So yeah, it's really important. I agree with you. Okay, so we all know that for trainers, they always share like a story at the beginning for the trainees. So do you have this kind of special story that you share with them to keep them motivated? Maybe a previous experience you had in something.
yes. I always, in a different situations, I always mention like different stories. But let me start with the story that gives them the spark. You know, the one that they say after it, like, really? Can I do this?
True.
So I always share my story of starting teaching with no clear purpose, no clear goal. I was just going with the flow, and I heavily rely on my position right now because I always compare, if I dare say. Like, okay, guys, I started with no specific purpose and no goal, and I had nothing. I didn't have any kind of teaching experience or even certificates. So it felt overwhelming there. And let me tell you something. it's not just a certain story. I always normalize failure. They
Yes.
feel more comfortable after actually hearing that. I normalize failure and I say that it's part of the journey. You're not going to always have ups, you're not going to always have downs, and that happened to me. I always reflect on myself because they look up to you. They just, their first question would be like, how could you do that? How did you do that? How did you reach this position? How did you face all these challenges? So I always reflect on myself and I normalize failure by just grabbing some situations I had absolutely no control about over. And look at me now. I now can. I wouldn't say I'm the best teacher in the world, but now I know what I'm doing. Like, so I reached the known and I started from the unknown. So they just kind of get the feeling of it's okay because they come to me always. They come to me with this pressure of being the best teacher in the universe. And I always say there is nothing perfect.
We
I
all
don't
don't
have a
want to be
perfect session
perfect.
myself. Like we all
That's
have
true.
some unexpected moments,
Yeah.
things that you, yes, face in the session. So it's pretty much normal. So yes, I would say that I always start any kind of story that failure is normal.
True. Motivation is the most important thing. Yes, I totally agree. And Dina, is there a difference when you train online teachers and face-to-face teachers?
Definitely. Definitely. I wouldn't say that the difference is in the content itself. If
Mm.
you're teaching present simple, it's present simple either online or offline.
The methods
But I
that
would
they
say
need
that
to use.
indeed, well, in online training, I would definitely recommend and push my teachers to use a lot of online tools like how would they organize their slides? How would they show the content? How would they react with the screen? How would they look to the camera? And for the offline teacher, it's more of the movements, the body language, how they approach the students, how they tune in and out in a conversation because they're like in front of each other. So it's really a crucial thing to think about your posture, your um your standing, the way you look at your students. Because like online, you just look at the camera and
Mm.
they just figure out that you're actually looking at them.
Yeah.
But in a real life scenario or like a face-to-face session, you have to distribute your looking to everybody. Like you need to have this kind of a radar eye. Okay, don't turn your back to your students. These
Keeping
are the
them
kind
eye
of things I
contact.
always mention because sometimes I train both online and offline teacher together. So I always try to differentiate, guys, you need to do this, and you guys need to do that. But the content, I would say that you can do
Same.
exactly the same things offline and online.
Okay. So in this case, we can say that you encourage your online teachers to use AI and AI generative tools, we can say, that would keep the students engaged, okay, because it's an online session.
Indeed.
So, in this case, if you want to recommend, okay, a specific generatives AI tools for online teachers, which ones would they be?
Well, this is actually the kind of content that I have over all over the place. I would say my LinkedIn page and my session.
Yeah,
So
you're
I
well
really
known for
have
your
a bunch of
creativity and using
tools in my
gamification.
mind right now. Thank you. Well, I would say that they can use Magic School, EduAid, and CurryPod for lesson planning. They can use quizzes, Quizlet, Bluekit, Kahoot for the games and assessments. They can use EdCafe for all of this. It's a wonderful tool. It creates slides. It also gives you lesson plans. It gives you games. And I always encourage this area of game-based learning and gamification. So yes, these are some of the tools that I use heavily. They can also use, there is a new feature in Canva. They're using AI to code websites.
Okay.
So that's amazing. Imagine that you just can create website for your students to practice their pronunciation. So yeah, that's a very powerful tool.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree, and especially Canva. It has it all. Okay, so
Yes,
in this
indeed.
case, AI is becoming very crucial, we can say. So, do you think that it might replace teachers one day? Because lots of people think that. So, what do you think?
Yes. Actually, no, they don't just think that it will replace teachers. They think it will replace everybody. And this is a very, I would say, wrong way to think about it. So let's just try to analyze things. So let's say that teachers, and I know that might sound strange, but teachers are actually replacing themselves with AI. They are doing the job for the AI. How would they do that? I will tell you. Like, I say no, we cannot be replaced with AI.
Oh,
But AI can definitely have a great part of our job, and that will just make things easier for us. So if we just used it in the right way, if we learned how to integrate AI tools to help us lesson planning, to help us creating games, quizzes, give a detailed feedback even. But how would teachers replace themselves? If you just go to ChatGPT or any kind of AI tool, ask for an outcome or a result,
mm,
and just take this outcome and you just put it there, you post it or you give it to someone without revision, without reviewing, without just putting your mind in this equation. So you're replacing yourself.
and
You're
adding
just
a
using
human
time.
touch, we can say.
Yes, indeed. So it's all about you. Would you replace yourself? That's the right question. How
Mm,
would you replace yourself with an AI? Yes, go ahead, take the AI outcome, just put it there without questioning. I've seen a lot of things like they're just taking the outcome of the AI and they just put it there. Even the prompt itself would be there. So they didn't even like just take a look at it. So this is how we can replace ourselves with AI. But if you just use it in the right way, it would take the load of you. It's just going to be a helping tool. You don't have to take it as you replacing or you being replaced, pardon me.
We should
So just
use it
take it
to
as a
save
tool to help
time
you.
on maybe basic things, okay, to help us with the basic things, but of course not to
Even
replace
complicated
us.
things, no.
Mm,
They can use it to actually solve complicated things. However, don't just cancel yourself. Don't
mm.
just take the AI for granted. No, he got it all. I swear I heard people saying this, he, she, because they heard it. They're thinking of it
Yes,
as a human being and relying on it. So I'm not saying this is bad or you don't have to rely on AI. No, this is
yeah,
how future teachers should actually be. They have to rely on these things to save time, to personalize. You
true.
have to cancel yourself. You need to be involved. So it's all
Use
about
it
us.
wisely.
Indeed.
Right, yes, I couldn't agree more. That's true. Okay, so yeah, we need to use it wisely and help that because it helps us save time, to be honest. But
A
at the
lot of
same
that.
time, of course, not let it replace us. Okay, so we should be the ones responsible, of course.
Indeed.
Right, nice. Okay, so of course, we've talked about teaching. So teaching is one thing, but leading curriculum projects and designing curriculum, Dina. So what's the big dream that you have for the future related to curriculum designing?
Okay. So the dream actually I've been chasing is having one platform of my own that holds all the resources and material, input sessions, training sessions for the teachers. I just put myself in their shoes and I just feel like I wanted someone to help me the way I would like to help teachers and educators right now. So, one big platform that holds everything that they need to become a better teacher. Whether you are beginner, you are experienced teacher, you always need something new. And that's one of my big dreams, like regarding the whole field.
Right. Yes, that's true. We all need this kind of help, by the way, because sometimes you feel really drained and you need someone
Indeed.
there for you. So in this case, it was a good start. Okay, totally agree.
Actually, the main reason I wanted to create this platform that I really wanted also to attach it to a community, like a community for teachers to support each other, to have each other's backs. So I would, okay, do you have this? Yes, I have it. Have you ever read this? Yeah, I read about this. Take this, give me that. It's like a community where we can support each other and we can be better teachers. So I'm actually on it, inshallah, and I'll be launching this very soon.
Right, and hopefully you will very soon. Yeah, because yeah, it's really impressive to have this kind of platforms to like what you have just said, to help educators nowadays all over the world. Because
Indeed.
unfortunately, we still face, like we have just talked previously, teachers who are still using the lecture mode. So we really need to show them how important to keep our sessions engaging and interactive as much as possible, if it's online or face-to-face, of course. Okay, so let's say we have talked about your past, present, and your hopes for the future, of course. So, can you share with us what's the golden rule about teaching that you would like to share with all educators worldwide?
I would say that humanity matters the most. Teaching is not just about delivering the content. It's about how would you empathize with your students? How would you feel them? How would you respond to their needs? It's not just about going there and write a few things on the board and making sure they understood and asking ICQs and CCQs. It's about understanding your audience, and your audience here is your students. So you just need to think carefully about them. You need to just pause for a minute and check if they are actually involved, even emotionally involved. So, yes, humanity. You need to be human before teacher. And that would just all link together. Like, I remember an incident of a teacher I was observing, like her class, and she just paused for like 2 minutes and she asked the student, like, are you okay? You don't look fine. And I remember that the student started to cry, saying that no, he wasn't okay, and he felt so overwhelmed that he can't just keep up with his partners in the class. And she just felt like, no, you're doing well. You're actually very fine. You're better than others. You're doing great, and you'll keep moving forward.
To be
Just after two
supportive.
minutes of, yes, just after 2 minutes, he just wiped his tears and he started to laugh and interact with other. So yes, she was a human before being a teacher. She cared about her students. So
And
yes, that's
that's
a
why, of
golden rule.
course, AI will never replace us.
Never. Yes, yes, empathy. That would never be there.
Thank you so much, Dina. I really enjoyed it today. And I really loved our conversation and how you reminded us that teaching isn't just about methods, it's about courage, creativity, and humanity as well. Thank you so much.
Indeed.
And
Thank you, No.
all listeners, thank you for listening to us and see you with another episode. Bye bye.